Good day, my listeners. How are you faring today? I believe that all is well. Ndewonu ndị be anyị. Onye ọma na-ege m ntị. Anyị abịakwa n'ụbọchị nke tata maka nkụzi dị iche. Ngwanụ, onye ọbụla bute oche. Ọ nọrọ ala. Ka anyị wee gezie ihe gbasara ọdịnala Igbo. Today's topic is on why you need to be spiritually inclined. Why you need to be spiritually inclined. First, we would like to know what it means to be spiritually inclined. Well, being spiritually inclined is having the mindset on spiritual things. It is when one is filled with holy desires, sacredness, and holy purposes in life. Ordinary Igbo spirituality requires the need to be in tune with nature and the universe while trying hard not to destroy people and things with evil thoughts or actions. Spiritual inclination is the personal ability and willingness to recognize the spirituality as the very important part in human life. Well, you know that what we do as regards Ordinary Igbo is all about sacredness, being sacred, being holy, being in tune with nature and the universe while trying hard not to destroy people and things with our evil deeds or actions. There are a lot of people who are not spiritually conscious. Yes, let me use the word spiritually conscious. They believe whatever they do is by their own power, by their own making. They attribute their success to their own effort, not minding however the universe helps them or how their spiritual guides come to help them. Well, your spiritual guide, they are your Orammụọ, they are spiritual beings. So how do you connect with them? How do you receive messages from them? How do you become aware of their existence or their presence around you? Since they are spiritual beings, ascended masters who are always around you to guide and direct your steps here on earth, they are what we call Orammụọ. Some can say Ezumezu Mmụọ. The words are used interchangeably because they are interwoven, they are interlinked. It depends on how you want to say it. Well, Ezumezu means the totality. Totality of all spiritual beings, spiritual guides that came to this earth with someone. So one needs to communicate with them in solitude or during meditation. As the art is being put into practice, as you are doing that, as you are putting it into practice, that is, it can be said that you are inclining to the spiritual, inclining to become spiritual. This act alone favors anyone who really needs to be in one accord with their energies while radiating positive vibrations that illuminate the person's aura. Ọ dị oke mkpa maka na mmadụ ka anyị bụ. Anyị bịa welu anụ arụ na-eme ihe. Ọ da-adabasị. Ọ na-adị ka mmadụ yi azụ akwa. There are a lot of people who don't dream. They are not spiritually awakened. They are not spiritually conscious. Whatever they do, they feel it is by their own effort, by their own strength. They don't believe that anything like inspiration coming into you, into your body as a person, can be spiritual. They feel, oh yes, I've rested enough. I now decide to relax on my bed to take a nap. And while they are taking that nap, there are a lot of things that come to them. Like they dream, they can have a sort of dream which they can equally allude to them having their rest. But they are not aware that such dreams can be as a result of their spiritual guide coming to them to inspire them or to expose some certain circumstances or things or events that will take place to them. They don't believe. So that is it. If you are somebody like that, it means you are not awake. You are not spiritually conscious. You do things of your own accord. That's made on anuaru. You are always in the flesh. I remember those days that I was in Celestial Church. Normally, whatever they tell us when we are about to do some certain spiritual work is to be in spirit. Be in spirit. Not in more. So once you hear that advice, be in spirit, it means you should take on your spiritual cloak and put it on. You should be spiritually conscious. That process might be when spiritual work is being done, because there are people who don't believe that removing negative energies or any of spiritually projected problem can be transferred to the next person who is just there standing. He just whatever it is that is being removed from the person's body will just easily enter the next person. Do you now understand why being spirit is a term normally used in spiritual churches? So you should be conscious. You should be aware of what is going on around you. And probably they are seeking answers to some things. Only the spiritually conscious can connect at that moment in time. Only the spiritually conscious can know what is happening, can know if the spiritual works being done for the person at that moment in time will be successful or is successful. So spiritually, when you are just there lying fallow, it means a lot will go wrong in your life. There are people who are not bothered about anything, no matter the circumstances, no matter the problems. They will be like, yeah, I'm used to this. I'm used to suffering. I'm used to having setbacks. I'm used to people hating me for nothing's sake without knowing, without offending them. And do you think it's natural? It is not. That is why I will always advise any human to be spiritually conscious, be spiritually inclined. Na-eme ka ife mmụọ na-amasị gị ka iwe na-amala onwe gị. There are people who are unable to identify their spiritual guide. They don't even know the ones that bring messages to them. Like some will ignorantly think that J-Boy is the person coming to give them visions, dreams, revelation, or whatever, or prophecy. There is always a source. If you're not spiritually conscious, you won't know this. Only a spiritually minded person will be able to identify their spiritual guides. And who are these spiritual guides? Your ancestors, they are your spiritual guide. you have your chi, you have your ndị otu. Ndị otu can comprise of ndị otu Ogbanje, Ogbanje Enuani, ndị otu dada, your spiritual husband or your spiritual wife. You also have your alusi. You also have your agu. So, you also have your spiritual animals. They are also spiritual guides. There is nobody on earth who doesn't have a spiritual animal. The problem is identifying which animal is your spiritual guide. So basically, I've just listed out the spiritual guides for one to know who they are. So you don't go on thinking that you got your inspiration, you got your prophecy, you got your revelation by the power of J-Boy. You know, I like being honest so that people will really understand these things. No sugarcoating it, no pretense. So you need to know that these spiritual guides have very good roles that they play in your life. But if you're not spiritually inclined or conscious, you cannot be able to communicate with them. You cannot be able to know which one of them is communicating with you. So being spiritually inclined and awakened is a very big blessing. And at the same time, it is like a curse to the chosen ones who will not like to see something bad or evil happen to people. Rather than keep it to themselves, they will say it out. That is why most people who are spiritually conscious always have one or two things to say, to tell you. You know, when you have such people around you, treat them well. Cherish them. Yes. Because they in turn use their gifts for you positively. For the positive-minded ones, please. You know, I always say that power is all about balancing. You either choose to be good, use your power for good, or use it for bad. That is it. The choice is always one's own to make. So, if they are not spiritually conscious, they will not be able to tell you they saw certain things about you, or that their spiritual guides revealed certain things about you to them concerning the problem their friend or family is facing. So it can also be demoralizing if such person is spiritually conscious, spiritually inclined, and then things are revealed and they go about telling the person for you to disregard them and treat them as scum, or to disregard them. It's very painful to some of them because a spiritually conscious person is always very sensitive. Sensitive to the extent that little things matter to them. Because the way you treat them so casually, it might not go down well with them. Yes. Being spiritually conscious does not mean whenever you see a war gecko in your house, you start panicking, you start thinking 19 to dozen that this war gecko has been spiritually projected against me. It's looking at me, it is monitoring me, you know. No. It is equally being spiritually sensitive, wise enough to discern between when there is danger and where there is none. A spiritually conscious person or spiritually inclined will always have things work for them positively because they will always pay attention to details, unlike somebody who is not spiritually conscious. So, just like a heavy burden and yoke, that is how spiritual sensitivity is. I recall many times I have taken my time to caution or deliver spiritual messages passed on to me by my spiritual guides to people who are undeserving of it. Well, I use the term because they never understand the person and the spiritual personality. So if you are somebody like me and you see things or you have that ability like an empath or a medium or a shaman or diviner or a seer, whatever word, you can understand me easily. If you're somebody like me and things are revealed to you and you go to the person, you are bold enough, because it's not everybody that will tell you, nekwa nekwa na ihe mfuru n'isi gị, or this is what is about to happen to you. Ọbụrụ mmadụ niile na-feel comfortable ije jegwa onye agbali ama n'isi. Know it today. So if someone is bold enough to approach you and tell you things about revelation or messages or prophecy gotten from their spiritual guide to you, at least you should appreciate the person by listening, giving a listening ear, and also doing something about it. You have to do something about it. It is for your own safety. It's for your own protection or either for your own blessing. Don't just stand and say, oh, I claim it, I receive it. Wow, you dreamt, oh yes, I was being given a ripe banana or I was packing fruits in the dream, which of course you know it signifies a blessing. You don't have to say, oh, I receive it. No, you have to be spiritually conscious, spiritually inclined enough to do something about it for you to receive those blessings peacefully, quietly, and without missing them, without losing those blessings. Most times, messages are passed across for one to know that you have to do this or that to safeguard or to prevent some things from happening to you. So, assuming you are someone like me and you have a revelation or prophecy, I'm using these terms because these are the ones people relate easily to. You receive a message on behalf of someone and you go to the person to tell the person starts screaming, Abramo, not my portion, it is your portion. Hey, Chineke ekwekwana. Huh? You know you have embarrassed the messenger thoroughly. And don't ever think that messenger will come back again to you with anything spiritually revealed to them. They will never, because of such embarrassment. So if a spiritually conscious person is receiving such message, assuming from me, what would the person do? Oh, thank you. Oh, I thank your Ezume Ezumwa for being kind enough to reveal such things to you about me. Please, what next? What can I do? You see that? If you receive someone in this manner, probably there is more. That is when the messenger will unlock and download, as in give you every detail concerning that. If the message is so accurate as to warrant calling names or whatever, of course, the messenger will tell you. Then you, if you're spiritually conscious, it depends on how you react. For some who are not spiritually conscious, who are still sleeping, who are still like dead, let me use that word. You see them, they start screaming, it is not my portion, this, that, or they will go straight ahead. If it has to do with a revelation about something happening in their lives and the cause of the problem being pinpointed, they can go as far as accusing that person that this person said you did this to me. Why would you do this? Whereas it was a spiritual revelation. It hasn't occurred physically, or maybe it was happening physically, but the person doesn't know the cause or why it is happening, doesn't know the architect of that problem, architect of such. So whereby you receive the message and you behave this way, you are not spiritually conscious. O nwere ife ga-emezi ka nwa dibịa gbaala gị ama ọzọ maka otu onye anwa si wee zuzu. Agwa gị na na-enye gosi na ihe mee nekwa ka o si dị, nekwa ka esi wee mee. Ịgbalụ ka nwa nkịta gbọva gbogbogbogbo. You will do this, you will do that to the person. You go and meet such person, assuming he's an evil person. You just go like that with mere words of mouth. You start accusing the person. Or some of you who might dream and see someone's face, you go up, once you wake up, you go straight to the person and start accusing the person. You are responsible for this. I saw you in my dream. Because you are not spiritually conscious or spiritually inclined. You don't know that most messages come in form of codes. Most messages, people's faces are used, but they are not the people behind whatever it is that is happening in that dream or that is happening in your life. Their face was just used to pass a message across to you. You seeing them might be symbolic that this is the direction, but they will use a physical representation of such person from such place. Or like, yes, let me say that. So the person is just, the person's face is just symbolic. So you need a good interpreter of dream to be able to tell you exactly what the message is about, not that you saw Nkechi's face in your dream, so Nkechi is now responsible for your problem. Or maybe you saw Azoka's face in your dream, and you assume that Azoka is behind your problem. The dream is symbolic. What is actually telling you might be that the person who is responsible for whatever is happening is close to you. Might not be that Azoka. So if you're spiritually conscious, you should be able to know how to handle issues, how to solve problems. You don't just stay there. You don't just live your life as if. That is how so many people will pack into some houses that need to be sanctified, spiritually sanctified, so that they can be able to move into those houses. There are some rituals you do before you pack into a new house. There are negative energies that hang around in houses. So if you're not spiritually conscious, you just move in. Oh, I've seen a lovely, very lovely bungalow. Let me move in. Without doing anything, carrying out any spiritual form of cleansing or purification in that particular house before moving in. You see some people, they just move in just like that, and they start experiencing a downturn on their lives. Things start going down, things start going bad. Still, they will take it as one of those things. Oh, economy is hard. Maybe that's why all these things are happening. I have seen people that moved into houses. By the time they could be able to rescue themselves to move out from that house, if they were once successful, they now become the shadow of their former self. They lose everything without knowing why, without knowing that the house have a negative energy, without knowing if the house is cursed. Because if an amen, no wow, if an amen, there are some people who are bad. They go as far as committing atrocities in people's homes. Or you know, like he's just like a doctor using his own personal house or flat to do abortions for women, conduct D&C. You know? You don't know that the land you are living in is a spiritual ancestral land. Of course, the spiritual guides guiding that family will not allow such a doctor to excel or succeed. There is always this aura lurking around that place. It can even bring calamity to the owner of the house if the owner of the house is not spiritually conscious to know that this kind of thing is going on in his house. It will attract negative energies to them. Ọ ga na-ebutele fa uchu ọgbụgba ma ọra akwụ maka na fa amarọ fa nọrọ na mmụọ enye mmadụ ụnọ owele na-eme ife dị ya mma. The consequences, the owner of the house will suffer it equally, the person doing such. Oje metara gị uke onye nke a na-ekwu onye na onye na-ekotere ọgọdị ekotelie. That is it. And also, if you're spiritually conscious, you can be able to detect or discern if a good or bad person is moving into your house, if you are a house owner. Do you understand? If you are spiritually conscious, you should be able to know that this person is good or this person is bad. You can be able to discern, because being spiritually conscious gives you that discerning spirit, that discerning ability. For the people who have the gift and grace for that. Being spiritually inclined and awakened is a blessing. It prevents a lot of bad things from happening to you. It also helps you to attract your blessings. So you don't have to live your life carelessly and think that it's by your power, by your energy, by your effort, by the time you put. And when they this kind of people, they are not spiritually conscious, because if they are conscious, their chi will agree for them in whatever they do. They will be aligned with your chi and know the do's and don'ts, what their chi likes and what their chi does not like. So if they are conscious of what their chi likes, they will prosper. They will receive blessings. They will attract good luck. But if they are not, that is when you see them being buffered with all sorts of problems, all sorts of challenges. So how do you live your life for you to be able to be spiritually inclined? So if you are a person that has this ability, or you are spiritually conscious, things are revealed to you, and you go to meet the person and the person insults you, how will you handle it? Because naturally, some take it very personal and insult you for trying to deliver the message because you are spiritually conscious. Or they'll tell you that you are not minding your business. You are a critic, you are a nosy packer, you are a fault finder. So many names for you for being spiritually awake and conscious. Maka na nwere otu o si wee dabalụ onye na-alala ụla na onye mmụọ anya. Onye na-alala ụla ga na-eme ka ofeke. Onye mmụọ anya a na-emegharị arụ ka onye dị ndụ. Yes. There is no basis for comparison for these two categories of people. The person who is not spiritually conscious will always take things at face value. We always behave like an, let me use this word, ignoramus. They don't know their left from their right. So how would they make any headway? How would things work for them? How would they succeed? How would they achieve success? Except they are spiritually inclined. Yes, that is when you put in time and effort to things, you receive good results. Maka na ị ga-ebu n'obi n'ife ị na-eme na ị ga-adịkwa conscious of yourself, not ife mmụọ ka a na-eme. You don't want to experience failure. Even if you experience failure, you will know how to take it in your stride and how to be able to cope so that things will work well again next time that you embark on maybe a project or things that you want to do to achieve success in your life.